Hello, today we will be discussing the assignment tool. The assignments tool enables you to create, manage, and distribute activities that assess students in meaningful ways beyond traditional objective tests. The Grade Center's organization and management capabilities are incorporated into the assignments tool, allowing you to provide feedback and grades to students efficiently. In this workshop, you will experience the entire assignment process and discover tips for creating successful online assignments. Some questions that you may want to ask yourself as you prepare to work on your courses are, how do you plan to use assignments in your course? Or, what types of assignments could you use with the assignments tool? There are many different types of assignments that one can create in Blackboard Learn. A few examples are a review or summary, math problems for students to solve, spreadsheets for students to complete, a place to gather resources for larger projects, a PowerPoint presentation, a graph or diagram, or a traditional research paper. Before we discuss the assignments process, I want to point out the To-Do module. The To-Do module provides a chronological listing of upcoming due dates that students can use as a launching point for their daily coursework. This module is divided into what's past due and what's due. The what's past due area displays any assignment, assessment, or survey that has passed its due date with no submission. The what's due displays information about any assessment, assignment, or survey that contains a due date. Now we will discuss creating assignments. First, we will discuss creating a basic assignment. In an assignment, you can include a description, point value, and file attachments. You can create assignments in several course areas, such as in a content area or a learning module. Students access the assignment, type a submission, attach files, and submit it. You can respond to each student separately with comments and attached files. Before you create your assignment, make sure that your edit mode is on. The edit mode is located in the upper right-hand corner of the page. If edit mode is off, you will not be able to create or edit any content in your course. Once edit mode is on, access the area of the course where you would like to create your assignment. For this example, we'll use the Week 6 content area. On the action bar, point to the Assessments tab and select Assignment. Type a name and optionally change the color of the text for the assignment title. In the instructions box, you can format the text and include images, links, multimedia, mashups, and attachments using the functions in the content editor. Attachments you add using the content editor can be launched in a new window and have alternate text added to describe the attachment. Be sure to remind students to attach any required files to the assignment before clicking Submit. Inform students that their assignments are not completed until they are submitted. You might also tell them that they must contact you if they submit the wrong file, forget to attach a file, or if they have any other problems so that you can reset the assignment attempt. If you want to attach a file, you would click this paperclip button. Then you can click Browse My Computer to select a file from your computer. You can also click Browse Content Collection to choose a file if you've already uploaded it to your class. Once you select your file, click Submit to attach it. You can also click this Mashups button, which will allow you to attach a YouTube video, Flickr photos, and other multimedia options. Once you finish your instructions, you can also choose to attach assignment files through this area as well. Once you have attached any files, you must type points possible. This can be any number value, including 0. For now, I'll just type 100. You can also associate rubrics to your assignment by clicking this Add Rubric button and then either selecting, creating a new rubric, or create from an existing rubric. We'll go over how to create a rubric assignment later in this workshop. Next, select the assignment availability options. The default is that this Make Assignment Available box is checked off, which means that students will be able to see this assignment once you click Submit. If you uncheck this box, you will still be able to access the assignment, but students will not be able to see it. This way, you can create the assignment and go back and edit it before students are able to see it. Next, choose the number of attempts that students will have for this assignment. The default is to allow a single attempt. You can also allow unlimited attempts, and you can also allow a specific number of attempts. We usually advise that instructors actually choose the number of attempts and then type 2. Having 2 attempts allows for any mistakes that students might have, whether it's uploading the wrong assignment file or not uploading a file at all. This just prevents you from having to go back and resetting the assignment every single time there's a mistake. Next, select the availability for the assignment. If you leave this area blank, the assignment will be available from its creation until the end of the class. If you select this Display After box, you're able to put in a date and time after which the assignment will be available. The Display Until area allows you to set a date and time after which the assignment will no longer be available. For example, you might want to limit Week 1's assignment to Week 1 of the course so that students have to complete it on time, whereas they might wait to complete the assignment if there's no time limit on it. Next, select a due date if you want a due date to be associated with this assignment. Please note that submissions are still accepted after the due date, but they are marked in the gradebook as late. If you want the assignment to no longer be available after the due date, you can set the Display Until box to the same time as the due date so that the assignment will disappear after the due date. Finally, select the recipients for the assignment. The default is all students individually, but you can also set it to groups of students, and we'll go over group assignments later in this workshop. For now, we'll keep it as all students individually. Once you are done setting all of the options for the assignment, click Submit. As you can see, the assignment has been successfully created and is located at the bottom of Week 6 materials. You can see that it's grayed out because we set the availability to be after September 24th at 11:59 p.m. Once that date and time has passed, the assignment will be available to students. Next, we will go over how to create a rubric assignment. The assignment process is the same. So, point over the Assessments tab and then click Assignment. Type a name and optionally add a color to the title. Add any instructions and attach any files or multimedia mashups. And then move on to the grading section. If you're going to attach a rubric, you still have to type points possible in this field. We're going to click Create New Rubric, and this opens the Create Rubric page. Type a name for the rubric and a description if you would like to add one. In the rubric detail area, you can add rows and columns to create as complicated or as simple of a rubric as you would like. You can also change the rubric type to no points, points, point range, percent, or percent range. You can change the criteria and the levels of achievement by clicking on the action link and then clicking Edit. Once you are finished, click Save. You can type your expectations for each level of achievement or criteria inside each of these boxes. Once you have added all of your criteria and levels of achievement, click Submit. As you can see, the paper rubric that I've created has been added to this assignment. You can delete the rubric by clicking on this red X button. You can view the rubric in a separate window by clicking this middle button, and you can edit the rubric by clicking this button with the pencil on it. You can change the type of rubric from Used to Grading to Used for Secondary Evaluation, and then you can choose the options for whether or not you want to show the rubric to students. You can show the rubric to students with the rubric scores, you can show it to them without the rubric scores, and then you can show the rubric to them after grading. Continue through the assignment options as you would for normal assignment creation. When you are finished, click Submit. And as you can see, the rubric assignment has been created and is located at the bottom of the list of Week 6 content. The last type of assignment that you can create is called a safe assignment. You can use SafeAssign to prevent plagiarism and to create opportunities to help students identify how to properly attribute sources rather than paraphrase. SafeAssign is effective as both a deterrent and an educational tool. SafeAssign compares submitted assignments against a set of academic papers to identify areas of overlap between a submitted assignment and existing works. SafeAssign is based on a unique text matching algorithm capable of detecting exact and inexact matching between a paper and source material. Safe assignments are compared against several different databases, including the Internet, ProQuest ABI Inform database, Institutional Document Archives, and the Global Reference Database. The Global Reference Database contains papers that were volunteered by students from Blackboard client schools to help prevent cross-school plagiarism. After a paper has been processed through SafeAssign, a report is generated detailing the percentage of text in the submitted paper that matches existing sources. The report also shows the suspected sources of each section of the submitted paper that returns a match. You can delete matching sources from the report and process it again. This is useful if the paper is a continuation of a previously submitted work by the same student. It is important to read the report carefully and investigate whether each block of text is properly attributed. Safe assignments appear in courses as a new content type. You can add them to any course content area. Safe assignments are different from regular assignments. You cannot convert an existing assignment into a safe assignment. Like regular assignments, when you create a safe assignment, a column is automatically created in the Grade Center. When students access a safe assignment, they can view instructions, type comments in the text box, and attach files just as they do with regular assignments. Students can submit papers in Word, plain text, rich text format, PDF, and HTML formats. We'll create our safe assignment within week 6. To create a safe assignment, point to the Assessments tab, and then select Safe Assignment from the drop-down list. Type a name for your safe assignment. And type points possible. And optionally add a due date or instructions to the safe assignment. Choose whether to make the assignment available, and optionally add any availability dates. If you check the Draft checkbox, it allows students to validate their paper without submitting it to the institutional database. This is useful as an instructive tool to help students learn how to attribute papers properly. You have access to see draft submissions. If you check the Urgent checking box, it just sets papers to a high priority in the queue, which means that the reports get run more quickly. The Student Viewable option determines whether or not students are allowed to see the report generated when their papers are submitted. The default is set to yes. If you do not want students to be able to view their reports, select no. Optionally, you can create an announcement that explains safe assignments to students. When you are finished, click Submit. As you can see, the safe assignment has been successfully added and is located at the bottom of the Week 6 materials. If you would like to edit or delete an assignment, click the assignment's action link and then select Edit. This will bring you to the same Create Assignment page that you created the assignment on. Edit any details on this page that you would like, and when you are finished, click Submit. If you want to delete an assignment, click the action link and then select Delete. If you would like to delete the assignment, click OK. As we discussed before, you can allow more than one attempt on an assignment. This is a good way to permit students to send in drafts and earn credit on improvements. You can provide feedback on a large assignment so students can demonstrate mastery. Be sure to inform students which of your assignments allow multiple attempts and what the expectations and grading policies are for each attempt. Providing multiple attempts can help students stay on track, raise the quality of assignments, and ultimately improve student success and retention. An example of this is for a research paper assignment. You can provide feedback throughout the research paper process. In one assignment with 4 attempts, students can submit their outline as a file attachment for the first, bibliography for the second, rough draft for the third, and a final paper as the fourth and last attempt. You can provide feedback at each stage. A grade is not assigned until the final paper as the last attempt is received. Now we will move on to the grading process. First, we will discuss the needs grading page. If you have a heavy grading load, the needs grading page can help you determine what needs attention first and allows you to access it quickly. You can view all items ready for grading or review on the needs grading page, where you can begin grading and reviewing or sort and filter columns to narrow the list. Attempts are placed in a queue for easy navigation among items. For courses with many enrolled students and gradable items, you can use the information and functions of the needs grading page to determine and organize your grading tasks. If you have a designated turnaround time set for all gradable items, you can sort and filter the list, allowing you to grade the most urgent items first. To access the needs grading page, scroll down to your course management menu. On the control panel, expand the Grade Center option. Then select Needs Grading. You can click the Grade All button on the action bar to begin grading and reviewing all items immediately. The Grade All function places all attempts in a queue for easy navigation among items. The items in the queue appear in the order they appear on the needs grading page. Sort columns to organize your list. To sort a column, click the column, heading, or caret. The sorted list remains in effect until you change it or log out. The following columns appear on the needs grading page: category, item name, user attempt, date submitted, and due date. The total number of items to grade appears above the list of items. Once attempts have been graded, they do not appear on the needs grading page, and the number of items updates to reflect the current number that needs to be graded. If the list is filtered, the number reflects how many items match the current filter settings. For example, 12 out of 17 total items match the current filter. Click an Items Action link to access the contextual menu and make a selection. For assignments, you can select Grade All Users or Grade Anonymously. You can grade assignments anonymously to ensure impartial evaluation of student work. For example, an opinion-based assignment that you grade anonymously may offer students a higher level of comfort when expressing themselves. In anonymous grading, all identifying information is hidden and attempts appear in random order. Each student is assigned a number, such as Student 1, Student 2, or Student 3. We have just discussed how to grade anonymously from the needs grading page. Because of the high number of students that you may have enrolled in your class, we find that it's easier to grade from the needs grading page, because everything that has to be graded is listed right here. However, you can also grade from the Full Grade Center. You can access the Full Grade Center by clicking on Full Grade Center under the Grade Center tab of the control panel. Here you can see the Full Grade Center. My Full Grade Center is not as robust as a normal class because I only have 2 demo students enrolled in it. But you can see that there is a grid of user information, and then if you scroll over to the right, you can see all of the assignments and tests that are associated with this class. Anything that needs to be graded will have this yellow exclamation point inside the column. To grade an assignment from the Full Grade Center, select the Cells Action link. From here, select the attempt with the exclamation point next to it to grade that attempt. And this will bring you to the grade assignment page. As we have discussed, you can access the grade assignment page from the needs grading page or from the Grade Center, as we have just done. You can view, comment, and grade student submitted assignment files without leaving the grade assignment page. When you view a document submitted in an assignment, that document is converted to a format that is viewable inside the web browser. Supported document types that can be converted are Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and PDF. The converted document is displayed in a viewer on the grade assignment page, as you can see here. Formatted and embedded images of the original document are preserved in the conversion. Assignment submissions created with the content editor are not compatible with the inline grader. Submissions of this type show in this window, but the annotation options are not available. So if you would like to use the inline grading options, make sure that students are uploading a Word document or any of the other supported file types, instead of typing directly into the text editor of the assignment. If you would like to grade anonymously from the grade assignment page, you can click Hide Usernames in the upper right-hand corner to hide any student information. Files that have been uploaded and converted for display in the inline viewer can be annotated directly within the browser. Click Comment in the inline viewer toolbar to expand the annotation tools. Select an annotation tool and comment, edit, highlight, and draw in the document. The Zoom Out button makes the content of the file appear smaller. This button is also available to students when they review their submission. The Zoom In button makes the content of the file appear larger. This button is also available to students when they review their submission. Clicking the Comment button expands the list of annotation tools. The downward-facing arrow button downloads a copy of the file. If annotations have been made, you have the option to download a copy in the original format or download a PDF version that includes the annotations. This button is also available to students when they review their submission. The upward triangle button moves back a page. This button is also available to students when they review their submission. The downward triangle button moves forward a page. This button is also available to students when they review their submission. The two left-facing arrow button allows you to view all annotations made on this submission. If you expand the comments area, you have the option to point comment, which adds a comment to a specific point in the document. You have an area comment, which adds a comment to the selected area in the document. And you have a text comment, which adds comments to a selected text in the document. You have the option to draw on the document, highlight, add text, and add strikeouts to the text. From the inline grading sidebar, you can expand assignment details to show the information from the assignment content item. You can type a grade for the submission attempt, and you can also view the rubric associated with the assignment if there is one associated. We will go over how to grade with a rubric with the next assignment submission. You can download the submission using this button as well. And finally, you can add comments and grader feedback to the student. Once you are finished annotating, grading, and providing feedback, click Submit. If you did not want to click Submit and submit the grade to the student and the gradebook, you could also click Save as Draft, which would save all of your annotations, your feedback, but not submit them to the student. However, if you would like to submit your annotations, feedback, and grades to the student and to the gradebook, you would click Submit. We will go back to the Needs Grading page. We will now discuss how to grade with a rubric. Go to the assignment that you have attached a rubric to and click Grade All Users. On the inline grading sidebar, click on the rubric button inside the Attempt Grade area. This will open up the rubric that you have associated with this assignment. To grade using the rubric, select the radio buttons next to the criteria that you have associated with each achievement level. Once you have finished, you can add feedback for each criteria and level of achievement that you have associated with this student's assignment submission. Below, you can see a raw total that has been calculated from the rubric. You can also override the raw total by typing a new number in this field. You can provide additional feedback to the student about their overall work. Once you have finished, click Save. As you can see, the number that you have inputted on the rubric detail page has been automatically inputted into the grade area. You can add additional feedback in the grader feedback field. Once you have finished, click Submit. If you have selected the option to allow students to view their rubrics, when they go to their My Grades area in your class, they will be able to click that same rubric button and view your feedback and criteria and level of achievement selection. Finally, we'll discuss managing and grading safe assignment submissions. You can view student submissions and the Safe Assign reports associated with submissions from the Safe Assignment link on the control panel. So on the control panel, expand the Course Tools area, scroll down and select Safe Assign. The Safe Assign area lists safe assignments in your course. Click a safe assignment to view and grade submissions. As you can see, here is a list of all the safe assignments associated with this training class. You can click the action link of a safe assignment to view submissions or edit the properties of the safe assignment. You can view any reports run through the Direct Submit portal. As you can see, I have already run a fake paper called Frogs. You can download the file from here, view the percentage of matching text, and also click on this icon to view the Safe Assignment Originality Report. Safe Assignment Originality Reports provide detailed information about the matches found between a submitted paper and existing sources. The Safe Assignment Report identifies all matching blocks of text. You and your students need to investigate whether the matching text is properly referenced. Detailing each match prevents detection errors due to the difference in citing standards. Safe Assignment Reports are divided into 3 sections: the paper information, the suspected sources, and the paper text. The report information lists data about the paper, such as the author, percentage of matching text, and when it was submitted. This section also includes options for downloading the report, emailing the report, or viewing a printable version. The printable version is the most effective view of the report for users that rely on assistive technology to access Blackboard Learn. The Suspected Sources area lists the sources that have text that matches the text of the submitted paper. You can select sources, exclude them from review, and process the paper again. This is useful if a source is a previous work from the same student for the same assignment, or if there is some reason that lengthy sections of a particular source appear in the paper. Processing the paper again generates a new value for the percentage matching without using the excluded sources. The paper text section shows the submitted paper. All matching blocks of text are identified. Clicking a matching block of text displays information about the original source and the probability that the block of text or sentence was copied from the source. Sentence matching scores represent the percentage probability that 2 phrases have the same meaning. This number reflects the reciprocal to the probability that these 2 phrases are similar by chance. For example, a score of 90% means that there is a 90% probability that these 2 phrases are the same. There is a 10% probability that they are similar by chance, and not because the submitted paper includes content from the existing source, whether appropriately attributed or not. The overall Safe Assign score indicates the probability that the submitted paper contains matches to existing sources. This score is a warning indicator only. Review papers to see if the matches are properly attributed. Scores below 15% are papers that typically include some quotes and few common phrases or blocks of text that match other documents. These papers typically do not require further analysis as there is no evidence of plagiarism. Scores between 15 and 40% include extensive quoted or paraphrased material, or they include plagiarism. Review these papers to determine if the matching content is properly attributed. Scores over 40% indicate a very high probability that the text in these papers was copied from other sources. These papers include quoted or paraphrased text in excess and need to be reviewed for plagiarism. If you would like to submit a paper to the database, you just click this Submit Paper button and then select your file to attach. If you have selected the draft checkbox in the creation of the Safe Assign, you may select this checkbox to submit the paper as a draft and not add the paper to the institutional search database. You can also skip the plagiarism checking and just add the paper to the institutional search database if you wish. You also have the option to copy and paste the document. Once you have finished, click Submit. Now that we have discussed the options for individual student assignments, we can talk about group assignments. Group assignments are assignments that are assigned to groups of students rather than students individually. You can create formal groups of students to collaborate on work and create these groups one at a time or in sets. You can manually select group members or allow students to self-enroll via a sign-up sheet. Each group has its own space or homepage with links to tools to help students collaborate. Only you and group members can access the group homepage and tools. There are two group creation options: create a single group or to create a group set. To access the group page, expand the Users and Groups option on the control panel of the Course Management menu. Select Groups. To create a single group, hover over the Create Single Group button. Self-enroll allows students to add themselves to a group using a sign-up sheet. You can make sign-up sheets available to students on the group's listing page or by adding a link to the course area, such as a content area, learning module, lesson plan, or folder. When you create a group using sign-up sheets, you can make the group immediately available to use or available after all members have signed up. Self-enrollment is an option available for both single groups and group sets. Manual enroll allows you, the instructor, to assign each student in your course to a group. Manual enrollment is available for both single groups and group sets. Finally, random enroll is available for group sets only and automatically distributes membership into groups based on a designated number of students per group or a designated number of groups. Random distribution applies only to students who are currently enrolled in your course. You can enroll additional students manually. When naming a set of groups, the name for each group has a number added to it when they are first created. For example, a set of groups named Research results in groups named Research 1, Research 2, and Research 3, depending on the number of groups in the set. After creation, you can edit the group names. To illustrate the creation of groups, I will go through the process of random enrollment. As described, type a name for your group set. Type any description that you want associated with all of the groups. Select Yes to make the group available. Select any tools that you want associated with the groups. Blogs, journals, and wikis are available for grading in the group format. You will also be able to assign group assignments. Select the box to allow personalization, which allows individual group members to personalize group space modules. For example, if a member of the group wants to add a dictionary module to their homepage, they will be able to do so. Finally, select the membership for the groups. You can determine the number of groups by the number of students per group or the number of groups. You also need to determine how to enroll any remaining members, which you can distribute the remaining members amongst the groups, put all of the remaining members in their own group, or manually add the remaining members to the groups. Once you have finished with these options, click Submit. And because I only had 2 people enrolled in my training class, I only have one group available. But if you click on the group name, it will bring you to the group homepage, list any course description, and then list the group members. As you can see, the group tools are listed here, and any group assignments that are associated with this group will be listed under Group Assignments. To make a group assignment, go back to the content area in which you would like the assignment to live, click the Assessments tab, and then select Assignment. Type a name for the assignment, add any instructions, attach any files, add points possible, optionally add a rubric, make the assignment available, select the number of attempts, select the availability options, optionally add a due date, and then select Groups of Students under the Recipients area. From here, you need to select the group you would like to assign the assignment to, and then select the right-facing arrow to move the group name to the selected items box. Once you have finished moving the groups that you would like to assign this assignment to, click Submit. As you can see, the assignment is listed here, but if you go back to your groups page, select the group that you have assigned the assignment to, you will see that the group assignment is now listed under their group assignments page. It is important to note that Group 1 members are the only students in this class, besides the instructor, that are allowed to see this assignment. Some other prerequisites and cautions for group assignments are: course groups must exist prior to the creation of group assignments. Students who are not enrolled at the time that a group assignment has been submitted do not have access to that submission. These students can see only that the submission occurred. Students who are removed from a group cannot see the group assignments. They can access their submissions from the My Grades page. Most importantly, if you edit the assignment between the creation and the due date, the entire group may lose any work already in progress. And if you delete a group from the assignment after they have begun work and prior to their submission, they will lose access to the assignment and will lose their work. One other important thing to note about group assignments is that all students in the group receive the same grade for the assignment. You can ultimately go into the Grade Center and override a student's grade if you find that that student did not do the work needed for the assignment, but by default, all students in the group receive the same grade for the assignment. Group assignments will be listed in the full Grade Center and the Needs Grading page once there have been submissions made. The grading process for group assignments is the same as any individual assignment. Again, once you have graded them, all the students in that group will have the grade that you have inputted into that assignment submission. The last portion of this workshop is discussing adaptive release, both basic and advanced. Adaptive release allows you to create rules based off of 4 different criteria and apply them to content items in your course. The 4 types of criteria are date, membership, grade, and review status. The date criteria ensures that the item is released on, until, or between specific dates and times. For example, content is covered in a specific order, and you want content in your course available only after it has been discussed in class. The membership option ensures that items are released only to specific users or groups of users. For example, if you have a student with a disability that needs more time on a test or needs extra review materials, you may set a rule that allows only that specific student to see the review materials that you have added to the course. The grade rule ensures that items are only released if a graded item was attempted or received a certain score, for example, less than, greater than, equal to, or between a certain percentage. Finally, the review status ensures that items are released only if a content item is marked as reviewed. The number of rules you can create and the criteria the rules can contain depend on whether you are using basic or advanced adaptive release. We will start by looking at basic adaptive release. With basic adaptive release, you can apply one rule to a content item. This rule can contain all 4 types of criteria, but not multiple instances of the same type. All criteria in the rule must be satisfied before the item is released to students. The more criteria added to the rule, the more restrictions on the release of that item, making it more difficult for users to gain access. To set a basic adaptive release rule, make sure that your edit mode is on. Then, locate the item you would like to set the basic adaptive release rule on. Select the action link, and then select Adaptive Release from the drop-down menu. On the Adaptive Release page, you can select one or more of the 4 criteria available. For a Week 6 reading, we'll select a date criteria. Once you are finished adding your criteria, click Submit. As you can see, Adaptive Release has been added and enabled to the Week 6 reading. This means that Week 6 reading will only be available between those dates and times that I selected on the Adaptive Release page. We have looked at creating a basic adaptive release rule containing only one instance of each of the 4 types of criteria. There may be times, however, when you want to set a more complex adaptive release criteria. For instance, you can add more criteria to a rule or you can specify different options for releasing the content. To accomplish this, you will have to use Advanced Adaptive Release. With Advanced Adaptive Release, you can add the following: multiple instances of the same type of criteria to a rule, such as 2 grade requirements or 2 date requirements. You can add multiple rules. When multiple rules are added, only one rule must be satisfied, allowing you to create different options for releasing the content. For example, content is released to some students based on their submission of an assignment, and to others based on having marked the content as reviewed. Like basic adaptive release, you can add date, membership, grade, and review status criteria to a rule. But with advanced adaptive release, you can add multiple criteria of the same type. For example, make extra readings available only to students who receive an 85% or greater on both their midterm exams and their first term assignment. To do this, add 2 grade criteria. For this example, I'm going to add another date criteria to this week 6 reading. So click the Items Action link, and then select Adaptive Release Advanced. As you can see, Rule 1, which we have already created with the date settings of September 24th through September 26th, is already here. To create a new rule, click Create Rule. And we'll keep the name as Rule 2. And click Submit. Now, to create the second rule criteria, hover over the Create Criteria option and select Date. I will also make the item available between October 1st and October 3rd. Once you have finished your criteria, click Submit. Now you can see Rule 2 also has the date criteria of displaying between October 1st and October 3rd. Click the OK button to go back to the Advanced Adaptive Release page. So now you can see that Rule 1 or Rule 2 needs to be satisfied for the Week 6 readings to be displayed, which means that Week 6 materials will be displayed between September 24th and September 26th, as well as October 1st through October 3rd. Click the OK button to go back to your content area. And as you can see, Adaptive Release is still enabled for this reading. If you would like to edit or delete Adaptive Release rules, click on the action link for the item, and click Adaptive Release Advanced. To delete rules, click the checkbox next to the rule and then select Delete. To edit the rule, click on the action link and select Edit Criteria. I'm going to delete both of these rules. So I have both boxes checked off, and I'll click Delete. When prompted to remove the selected rules, click OK. And as you can see, there are no longer any rules attached to this Week 6 reading. You can use the breadcrumbs to go back to Week 6 reading, or click OK to go back to the Week 6 content area. This concludes the assignments workshop. Thanks for watching.